Hey Wendy, thanks for sending this over. Apologies for the delay in getting back to you. I've just been recovering from illness, so I'm just trying my best to try and recover. But I wanted to spend some time to just go over the resume that you sent me. I know that you sent me two documents, but I think I'm gonna go over this one because correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is your most recent one. At least it's got all the relevant work stuff there. But I just moved over a couple of things that can definitely improve your chances of securing an interview, so to speak. So the first thing that comes to mind, just from an overall presentation perspective, is think. Let me just make sure. 'Cause I think okay. I think you should use the header section from the first resume, from this one, because it contains your location, it contains your email address, and it contains your number. I know this also contains your number and your email address, but there is a lot of white space here, and I think having it big definitely does draw a lot more attention to it. That's the first thing. Next is I would consider getting a new email address, especially if you're going to be applying for, let's say, I mean, I'm not sure which roles you will be applying for, but I'm assuming it could potentially be like professional customer service roles, especially if they're going to be remote. Then it would be much more handy to have an email address that is basically just your name. So maybe like Wendy Cosgrove at yahoo.com or at gmail.com instead. It's just one of the small things recruiters can judge candidates on if, let's say, their email address references like a TV program or, you know, or something on those lines. So it would really help to just have an email address that's got your name in it, at least as close as possible to your name. Is the first thing, your location. The One of the things that comes to mind for me is that the objective or the career summary, it needs to be essentially like an average of what you've done up till now, in terms of, let's say, you've been working in customer service, you've been working in customer service for a really long time, right? So to 20 plus years. It would be great to lead with an objective saying, I'm a dynamic customer service rep with over 20 plus years experience doing XYZ, which is where you include the skills. And that you can state some of the biggest projects that you've worked on that has had the most impact during your time over the 20 years. For example, when you mentioned that you've taken payments via email, computer, and mail, I think that's impressive. But what would be even better is if you could quantify that. So over the last 22 years, if you was to take a guesstimate, how much payments have you overseen over that 20-year period? And what I would suggest you do is to include that figure, because I'm sure it's a really high number, and that's definitely something that, especially some of the remote companies that we work with, will be looking at. They'll be interested in a candidate like you who has showed stability by staying in a role or at a company for a considerable amount of time, and also the sheer volume of revenue and finance that you've been looking after, which I think would be key. The other goal of your objective section is to present a case to the hiring manager or to the recruiter to why you are the best fit for a position. So it would be good to include the kind of role that you're looking to get into next, whether that's to be customer service manager or, something along those lines. It would be great to include that in your objective section. For your experience, whilst I don't have much issue with the white space, in fact, I think the layout overall is not awful. I think the only thing that needs to change mainly would be just being able to differentiate between, okay, this is the date, this is the role, and then this is the company, followed by your location. I'm going to share with you some examples of layouts that I think would be really helpful for you, just to add a little bit more color to this resume. But for each of the bullet points that you have, or for each of the things that you did, it would be imperative that you mention the impact of that work. So, for example, work told computer daily isn't really a benefit. It's more of a responsibility. It doesn't show impact. And so what they'd be more curious to learn about is, what impact have you delivered for this organization by working on the computer daily? That's kind of what we're trying to get onto here, and including numbers where possible. I think it might be useful to bold the job names themselves, so that it's really easy to see at a glance what the role is, followed by the bullets, followed by bullet responsibilities, so to speak. And the goal should be to rewrite these into impact-driven bullet points. I'm going to show you a couple of examples. Education, I think, is fine. I think it's really interesting you've done medical billing and coding. I'd be curious to know what specific coding languages were there that you did, and if so, include them. And then as for skills, it's great that you said it, you offer great customer service, but it'll be even better to show that. So, for example, have some kind of qualifying statement as to that explains that you do have great customer service. Is there a particular metric or goal that you're judged on with your customer service? Is it something like you've received 0 complaints in like 10 years or something to that effect? Is that something that you could include? You want there to be some kind of supporting statement for each skill so that it can show the kind of impact that you're looking for. Okay. And this is just like a general resume. What I would then suggest you do once you've got your main one done, let's say if you're looking for a customer support manager role or a customer success manager role, you may want to get another resume that's very similar, but is a slightly different role for like a different position. For example, in marketing, in my case, I have like resumes for like a marketing manager role, but then I've also got secondary resumes for growth marketing, for content marketing, and for product marketing, because those are other marketing roles that I have the experience with. And so if I were to apply for a job that was looking for a product marketer, then I would use the product marketing resume rather than using my generic main resume, so to speak. But yeah, I think that there definitely doesn't seem more work here just to bring it up to standard. That being said, if you join the We Are Distributed community, which is completely free, by the way, at least for now, we have an Ask Us Anything space. So as you can see, if you just go to, I'll send the link to you via email so that you can sign up if you haven't. But if you go to once you get in, so essentially it's members.wearedistributed.org, and then it will ask you there'll be an opportunity for you to sign up. When you sign up for free, then go to the Ask Us Anything space here. And if you look at all of these different questions that people have asked, we've reviewed their resumes. So they've asked like resume help and whatnot. And what we've essentially done is we've been able to go through their resumes and give them some help and tips so that they can improve. I think some people, let me just see, to this person, right? Okay, so this one didn't upload their resume, but some of them actually do. See, okay, yeah, here's an example from someone who's uploaded their resume. You could actually take a look and see how other people's resumes have been like, and also review the feedback that I'd given. So for example, I'd given this guy some stuff on his resume, and there's a link there, so when you click on it, it's like a 5 to 10 minute video, just like this one I'm doing now. It just goes over the resume in depth and tells them exactly what they need to do in order to improve it and change it. There is that. Yeah, so we do have some of those. Let me know if that helps, and we can then take it from there. But yeah, the first job you need to do is I would suggest that you sign up for free to the community if you're not in already, and then review these conversations that we've had with other people, giving them feedback to their resume, and take those insights and apply that to your own so that you can improve your resume, and then we can take another look and see how you get on from there. But yeah, let me know if you've got any questions, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.